Bed. Love.
Bed.
Bed.
Love. Beyond.
Bed, love, beyond. Bed, love, beyond.
Welcome to Bed, Love, Beyond, the podcast for the hopeful and the hater in us to discuss sex, love, relationships, and whatever's clever with like-minded people like you who are also in limbo with love like us. I'm Miss April.
I'm Jen.
And today is episode 150, Debunking the Myth, Dating Younger. Today's episode is about dating people that are younger than you, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, 20 years.
I don't know. I've done it. Not a couple years. Not 20. Fuck out of here. Not judging, just saying.
You have any dish to daily dish today?
Mm-hmm. I saw there's like a new episode of Married at First Sight coming on.
From Charlotte.
Yeah, and this girl was like, I just love the psychology behind the show. And I was like, let me just drop some bombs on you. I'm like, there is no more psychology behind the show. I'm like, it's a fucking sham.
Yeah.
But Courtney and Jason from the first season got divorced, and I'm so sad.
Wow.
Not they weren't like the couple that had like the miscarriage. They were the couple that like never had kids, but she like helped him through his mom's death, and they seemed to be like the perfect couple. But shit's just what it is.
I heard of somebody said something very interesting to me once. Well, somebody said to her, like, how's your husband doing, whatever. And she said, he's doing good. She said, we're doing good. She said, I think we're still together because I like him, not because I love him.
This was on Married at First Sight, or
no?
Something
This
else?
is in real life.
Oh,
It was like a long time
you like
ago.
Jen, there's things going on that are not on TV. Believe it or not.
Ago, but she was like, you can love somebody and not like them very much, and love them, I guess, for what they've done for you, what they're doing for you, what your past, your history.
Right.
But sometimes you don't like who they've become. You love them for your history and stuff, but or for who they used to be, maybe. But she said, I really like him. I like his personality. I think that's what keeps us together, is that we like each other like friends. Like,
right.
Well, they were friends for childhood friends. So I guess that makes a difference. But I think the real psychology to marriage, either you have chemistry or you don't.
Right.
Like, I mean, I think sometimes people like kind of can like.
And the problem with Married at First Sight, which would probably be the same problem as if we do a matchup thing, is that it doesn't matter what kind of questionnaire you make people fill out, and like if they want kids, if they don't want kids, what their religious views are. If you're carrying emotional baggage with you, or sometimes even like physical baggage of people with you that you haven't handled, it doesn't matter what the psychology papers say. Right. It's not necessarily going to work.
And it's gotta be like it's gotta be something organic there,
right?
Like all these things being like orchestrated and built and put together, like it's almost like a little, it's gotta be some kind of something organic there. Because I mean, you could put people that look good on paper all day, but
they should not do Married at First Sight. They should maybe just do Engaged at First Sight. I don't know, like marriage.
Married is more dramatic.
For sometimes when people say marriage, like there's a certain thing that people start to expect. Like a lot of the women on that show have been like, well, we're married. Even though I don't remember how to spell our last name.
I don't know you.
Like, but I want babies. I want babies.
You met the person yesterday. It's right. It's almost like it's very unnatural for one thing. So, I mean, to just be married to somebody you met yesterday, it's unnatural. I
wouldn't want to like kiss or anything the first night. I'd be like, what's your favorite movie? Have you seen Shatas? Like, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, on a scale of 1 to 10, what's your favorite food? I wouldn't be sitting there asking stupid questions like that.
Are you one of these dudes walking around in high waters and velvet loafers?
How do you feel about Crocs? Did you ever wear socks and sandals in public? Like, I don't know. Yeah,
it's so many things. It's just got to be something, something more again that putting people together. I mean, it just seems very forced and weird. And
I feel like something on TV happened that I want to talk about, and I don't remember what it is now. Damn it! There was something relationship wise. Damn it! I'm trying to think what shows I watch. Oh, You're the Worst. So if you didn't watch the series finale of You're the Worst, please turn your radio down for 3 seconds. So You're the Worst was my favorite show. Martini watched it too, but I don't know if he watched it because I watched it, but whatever. So You're the Worst, I really was attracted to the show because both of the people are kind of like haters. They hate everything, and they're just bad people. But together, they were kind of good, even though they weren't. And eventually, the season was like kind of whatever, and they decide to get married. But she still has like major depressive disorder, and he kind of enables her, and she kind of enables him. And throughout the whole last season, like, she's super excited about the wedding, and she's just like manically going through it because she's nervous about like committing to it. And he's just like, at the end, he finally realizes that he's been the one who's been like pushing this more than she has. And he comes to the conclusion that he's just like, we shouldn't get married. And she's like, but I love you. And he's like, but I love you. So the end of the series ends with them sitting down in a diner. She's in her wedding dress. He's in his tux. They have run away from their big wedding that he mostly planned. And she, too. And they decide that they want to stay together forever, but they don't want the actual commitment of marriage, and that they don't want to be with anyone else. They just want to be with each other. And, you know, he basically says, like, I may not be all that you ever want me to be. And she basically says, you know, I could wake up one morning and jump in front of a bus. And that part, like, jarred me a little. I was like, but then they like flash forward to like their future, and they have a kid, and they're still together, and they make jokes about cheating on each other, but they don't. And I was just like, that was an interesting ending, appropriate but interesting. And I guess it works for some people, like, you know, works for Kurt Russell and whatever her name is.
Goldie Hawn.
I don't know what her face looks like anymore, but
I can definitely see it absolutely working more for wealthy people too.
Oh yeah.
Because people are not gonna necessarily. I mean, if you have your ducks in order, it's not necessarily gonna be. It still can be drama. People fight over rich people estates all the time, but I feel like if you can say to your girlfriend, there's $1 million in this account that's yours if I die, and it's not going to be contested. It can't. I mean, I guess it can. People can contest anything in a will,
right?
But I guess you could also put that, if you have it like that, you can just give them the money when you're alive,
right? Or a health
like this is $1 million trust fund sitting here that's yours if I die. It's nothing anybody can do about it. But I remember reading that. When people say you don't need to get married, just have a will. I want to say it might have been Susie Orman, but it was almost like wills can be contested.
Right.
And there's certain things that can't be contested when you're the spouse. It doesn't matter what you don't agree to. I mean, you can go to court and say the person wasn't of their right mind when they signed this or that, but if they signed it with, if you're their spouse, it's yours.
Right.
Legally, it's yours. So that's the thing. It's a lot of, I think I was looking at comments under a video about somebody saying marriage licenses is just a marriage license, and marriage is like a scheme by the state and the government to get your money. So it was one of those videos. But I was reading the comments, and I think people don't realize, first of all, that each state has its own laws around marriage and divorce, one. And two, I don't think people realize the nuances to the law. Like, yeah, you have a will, you're good. That's not true. People contest wills all the time. People contest these things. That people can literally, if somebody has money or time or whatever, they can tie up money in court for a very long time.
My friend's brother just died, and he had a girlfriend who he cheated on the wife with. Follow me now, people. I know this is a lot. So anyway, this man had a wife. He cheated on the wife with his girlfriend. He was with the girlfriend for a really long time. He had kids, obviously, with the wife.
So did he left the wife for the girlfriend?
For the girlfriend.
Okay.
I don't think he ever married her. He just always stayed with her.
He divorced the wife.
And he divorced the wife.
Okay.
He died younger age. I think he was only like in his 50s. And the kids had like such a problem with the girlfriend because they broke up the marriage of their mother that they wouldn't allow her name to be printed in like the in memoriam and who he left behind, even though it's been a very long time that they've been together. So with that being said, she did not let my mom's friend, who's his sister, have any of his suits to bury him in, and they had to pay for his funeral. I don't know why. I guess the money was, I don't know, maybe he just didn't have money or a life insurance policy, but like she wanted to be part of it, and his kids like totally contested it. But I think if he was legally married to her, there wouldn't be like that much. I mean, with the paper, it's a little different, like what gets put in the paper. But
I mean, if she was legally married to him, nothing would get done without her signature.
Right.
Like they not releasing him from the morgue, the funeral home, not moving. Nothing's getting done without you're the next of kin. Like you're the legal next of kin. Nowhere around it.
So then my mom's friend had to like kind of like rally money together, you know, or she was kind of like scraping her own stuff. My mom like, you know, passed her some money, like, you know, I would do what you have to do.
And this is your mom's friend is the ex-wife.
No, my mom's friend is the sister, just the sister.
Oh, okay.
But it was her brother, and I guess the kids didn't have the money to bury their dad.
Oh, okay.
So and like so she helped with buying him a suit.
Okay.
So
but they didn't give her a suit he already had?
That she wouldn't let go of any of his clothes.
The girlfriend?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
She was being spiteful.
And the girlfriend?
I guess like he lived with her.
Oh, okay. So because they didn't include her in the thing and all that stuff, then she didn't give none out of the house. Wow.
So it was like a whole shit show.
Mm-hmm. Did she go to the funeral?
Nope. I don't know if I would have done that.
It's just, it's like you can't. It's so. To some people, it's like they couldn't say goodbye.
Like, I would have gone to at least to the funeral home. I would have asked to go before regular family visiting hours. Yeah. Like, even my... Oh, God, this is so confusing. My aunt, who married my Uncle Jack, who used to be my Uncle Jack when he was married to somebody else. The lady who was at my brother's godmother. My brother's godmother, who used to be married to my Uncle Jack, came to the funeral... Like, I think the services started at 10. She came at 9 and, like, sat and prayed and said her goodbyes. And then, like, left before all the family came.
I mean, I don't want to say for sure what I'd do in somebody else's shoes because it's hard. But, I mean, and we're talking over 10 years, right? Like, I think just at that point, as the ex-wife, I'd have said, let that lady come sit in it. I mean...
I don't even know if it was the ex-wife. I feel like it was the kids.
Maybe.
I don't know.
But I mean, if their mother maybe would have set the tone, just let that lady come in here. Don't say nothing.
Some people get super bitter, especially when there's like infidelity.
And the thing is, like, the man dead now. What difference does it? I mean, when you really think about it, what difference does he's dead? I mean, because your anchor should be with him,
and it was a choice he made.
Right. They can't. This is something people gotta seriously. Nobody can break up your marriage. Right. No human being could come into your relationship or into your life and tell you that you shouldn't be married to somebody. There's people who got married against their mother and father's will, against their mother and father disagreeing with it. So how somebody from outside off the street gonna come and tell you to leave somebody? It's impossible. When somebody leaves, it's because they don't want to be there. And when you 50 years old, you should know better. That man left you because he didn't want to be with you. Go find somebody that want to be with you. Sometimes some things are blessing in disguise. Listen, maybe somebody else out there for you. Maybe your husband wasn't the one.
Which Tyler Perry one is it? Is it
The Family That Prays?
Is it The Family That Prays, or is
when
it
Sanaa Lathan was just a CUNT?
No. Then it's the other one. Maybe it's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Is that the one where the guy becomes paralyzed? Yeah. And the wife
he dragged out the house.
And the wife that he abused had to go to the hospital because she was actually the one still married to him.
And the side chick left him.
And she's like, "What do you do?" I was on the other day. I was like, "I love this part."
The side chick said, "Let him die."
Yeah. And she left him. She's like, "Are you kidding me? Did you hear what the doctor said?" She's like, "Well, is he going to be paralyzed?" I was like, "This is what I'm talking about." Like Tyler
She
Perry
not
knows.
spending her little young life taking care of you. And she 20-something years old.
I love that movie. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So we are talking about dating younger. Speaking of dating little young lives. Young lives matter. Sorry, millennials. I beg to differ. No, I'm kidding. So why did this topic come up in your head, April?
Well, I was having it was weird. These different conversations kept coming up at work, and then I have a coworker. You guys know Kamal from last episode. I like him, but he annoys me. But I like him.
He might be back.
I have mixed emotions. Kamal tends to date older women.
Like he's what do you say,
26. Mm-hmm.
And how much older?
And he goes 37. Yeah, he goes up there. He's up there, and he's pointed out some older women to me at work that he would give a whirl. And so he's like,
yep. Does he like that they look older or that they act older?
I don't know, cause it's some he doesn't even know how old they are.
I was gonna say,
cause like it's one lady he was like, oh, she's like, he said to me kind of like casual, like, oh, she's not that old. I'd date her. I was like, she's 52. He was like, what? But this lady does look much younger than, yeah. And she's like slim, and so she looks much younger than 52. But and one time, like, I left my keys with him with my mom because I went to the bathroom. He's like, your mother does not look like she's in her 60s. I was like, hey.
Like, stop it.
But my thing with him is you have to think about the fact that if you're really going for a woman in her late 30s or 40, he said his limit is 40.
Okay.
I was like, there's a good chance she's not going to want to have kids. Right. Not an absolute chance. Not 100%.
Or she might not be able to.
Right. That's the other thing. Or she already has kids. Or a woman that's 40 might have a 20-year-old. Mm-hmm. I mean, I
know some.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, she may really not want to. So that's like a possibility, like and I was like, you might want to be the 40-year-old is down to have a baby. But like, the chances are probably up there that it's going to be hard or expensive or a lot of other things. And you're 26 and you're like, let's go, baby. And she's like, got to calm down, bro. That. And I'm like, then you're the only child and you're your mother's only chance at grandchildren. And that's coming down on
children.
You. Right.
Since he was like over here talking about he's looking for a baby mama.
Right. So, anywho, so we had some conversations at work, and there's a young lady there who likes older men. There's a doctor that works there that's older than her that she kind of likes. And so we had a conversation. We were all having a conversation about.
And how old is the girl?
She's 24. Mm-hmm. Doctor's 35.
Okay.
And so we all, we were all having a conversation. But the main thing that kept coming up, especially in relation to younger guys, is the fact that they really don't. The mentality, I don't know if it's there. Because, like, for example, well, I don't know how personal that conversation was, but it came up that kind of the answer to not liking something a woman was saying was to just ignore it. And, a young lady's answer to something that, the doctor said that she didn't like was that he's weak.
If he ignores it.
Well, no.
Okay.
The doctor maybe said something to her along the lines of, well, he was telling us a story. Mm-hmm. The doctor was telling us a story.
The 35-year-old doctor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was telling us a story about, getting into it with a girl and the baby daddy came to the house and there was an issue and, he was just like,
it's like Young and the Restless over there.
I didn't want to. This is some girl somewhere else, and he didn't want to get into it with him because he didn't want to ruin his residency stuff.
Okay.
I didn't want to get arrested and get kicked out of the program.
Right. Okay.
And kind of what I took from that is he's weak.
That's what you took from it.
Her response to the story kind of came across as like he wasn't man enough to confront.
Fuck that. He's mature. He's worried about
baby
his
daddy.
Shit.
Right. And I think this is a few years ago, so he wasn't quite 35 yet. But I'm like, somebody's live. You know how hard it is to get a medical school residency? I mean, and no offense to, well, I don't know where I work, but.
Where you work.
Probably could Google me. Don't go there. But, I mean, I don't think you're at the top of your class if you're at my job. I'm gonna just put that out there. I mean, come on, guys. We all know NYU and Columbia Presbyterian and Mount Sinai, all these wherever, all these famous places is where you rather be. Harvard Medical School, whatever, is where you rather be if you want to,
a good residency.
Yeah. So Bellevue, I'm assuming,
not places. The local psych hospital for the county,
right? So, and you probably like as even if you're talking about Harvard and Duke and Yale and Princeton, and you got to be number 1 or number 2 in your class, like anything else that's exclusive.
But if this is as good as it gets,
right? So
mind your P's and Q's.
So that's where that was kind of going, and so I was just sitting there as a 35-year-old person listening to these conversations from these two 20-somethings, and I was just like, it was weird because some of it was a mixture of old-fashioned thinking and young naive. Now thinking, like the whole that was the whole masculinity thing kind of came out, the whole toxic masculinity thing about let me go out here and run and jump in a fight just because we're both men, and and then it was also I don't like what you're saying, so I get to put on my headphones and play Xbox.
No.
And just ignore you. And I get it. This lady, I guess, has, been confused about the type of relationship and all these things going on. So that's an issue. And don't want to leave her situation to be exclusive. So it's almost like, don't get mad at me because you're in a situation. I'm kind of the side dude. So, but still, I'm like, my thing is, if you're messing with somebody, if you're gonna have sex with somebody, if you're saying you care about somebody, but you don't care about what they have to say, that's a problem.
Right.
You can't care about somebody and not care about what they're saying. So that was my thing. And 2, leave them alone. If it's not a good situation, and it's not going anywhere, leave it alone. But to somebody 26, there's sex involved, so
that's all
I'm only going to leave it alone to a certain extent. But the main reason it came up because I was thinking like I was 26 once, and it's hard to go back there.
Right.
It's hard to be 25 and 26 again. I'm just looking at these people like, you guys are so young and stupid. Like, what is so difficult and hard to understand about this situation? Go the fuck home. That's what you need to do before you get somebody.
Well, when you were 25, 26, did you date people your age?
It's mixed. My age and older.
Okay. I think what was 25? I think I dated, the 7-year guy who was my age. And I dated Brooklyn, who was 2 years younger than me.
That's not much of an age difference.
Yeah, but it was a lot.
There was a mental difference, yes, but numbers wise.
Yeah, and I think that was like my 25 to 30 range. I think it was them.
And then Montclair, I don't know what you call them on here. Montclair was.
Oh, the one who our friend at school married? I mean, our friend from work married?
No.
The one from Montclair?
Yeah.
The English guy?
No.
Oh, my ex?
Yeah.
He's 3 years younger.
So that was like
me?
a 28 to
but that was when I was
30 transitional.
But no, my ex, the recent one, the one you know?
Yeah.
That was like, I was like 30. How old am I now? I was 35, yeah.
But wasn't that like 3 or 4 years?
Yeah, he's like 3 or 4 years younger than I am.
Because wasn't there like a 28, 29, 30 transitional period that was interfering? Wasn't he transitioning to 30?
Yes, when I first met him, he was like transitioning to
Right.
30. And then I dated him he was like 30. Yeah,
And
so
it
we were
was
like 4 years.
I don't have to listen to you.
Right.
None of these things are wrong with me. It's all you.
Right. Now he's
all
like,
my dirty clothes all over. Nobody else would have a problem with. It's just you.
No, he's like, I've learned a lot from living with you. I'm like, have you now? I'm like, that song Little
After
Too
your
Late?
roommate terrorized you. That's what had to happen.
Yeah, that was definitely it. I think, yeah, I mean, when you date guys who are younger than you, the maturity level is definitely not where you are. The headspace is definitely not where you are. And I think the situation with my ex-boyfriend disappointed me the most because I felt like at that point I had already minded all my P's and Q's and gotten my little checklist in. And I sat there and I said this, this, and this. And he was like, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And I'm like, are you sure? Uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-huh. And I was like, one more time. Are you sure? Yeah, it's going to be great. And then you like jump in the boat with the person. And you're like, God damn it, we're sinking. Like, what the fuck happened? I checked. We had checklists and everything. You lied.
And the thing is, I mean, so I was 21 going on 22, dating like a 33-year-old. And I felt like it was a lot. And that's a significant age difference. And I was a college student. He was grown up, living grown up life, working, hustling, own apartment and everything. And I just felt like it was like a little control trying to happen. I was way too headstrong to be controlled, but he was trying to. Mm-hmm. And it was almost like, well, we're not going to be. And I was leery about a relationship, it being a relationship. We just dated, hung out. We didn't really go too many places together, which was
awkward.
Yeah, it's like he didn't look. I mean, he kept himself in shape. He dressed. He didn't wear his pants hanging down or anything. So I mean, but he wore different kinds of Nikes, and so he didn't dress old. He dressed fairly young. Somebody could have said he was 27 or 28.
How old was he?
He was 32, 33, something like that.
And you were
21, 22.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember turning 22 after I already knew him. So
okay.
I guess I was 21. And it was always like, you need to stop eating beef and pork. And I remember one time saying,
you need to try these ribs.
And when I first met him, I was staying with my grandmother. But during the time I knew him, within the last year or so, I had my own place. So, and this was said when at my apartment. First thing out of my mouth is, if you want to pay the rent, I will gladly get this salami out the refrigerator. But until then, you can't tell me shit. You know what I mean? So that was my attitude. So it wasn't like, it wasn't a sugar daddy situation. It wasn't like you come up in here and pay the bills. If you want to eat tofu, I mean, that's up to you. Congratulations. But I'm gonna enjoy this pepperoni and cheese. So it was like a little, it was always almost like a lot of like, you know,
trying to
I gotta tell you because you young type stuff.
Right. Trying to school you.
Yeah. And that it becomes annoying. It starts to feel belittling. You know, like I
can imagine. Like,
oh, I don't have. What do you know? You're young. It's like the person doesn't say those words, but that's how things come off. Like you don't know anything about this. You don't know anything about that. You know, that kind of stuff. So it starts to get a little.
And you just made me think that because I wasn't sure who you were talking about at first. Mm-hmm. When I was in college at Montclair, which brought it up in my head, mm-hmm. the comedian, mm-hmm. The one who married our friend from mm-hmm. work, he was. I don't know, maybe he was like 4 years older than me. Like 3. He was definitely like, I think I was like 19 and he was like 24 or 25. And it was cool at first because like maturity wise, he was like where we were. Yeah. And because he lived at home with his mom still, I think like it seemed a little, sometimes the scales were like uneven. Like right. I lived on campus, so I can go out to the city till like 4 o'clock in the morning and the RA ain't gonna say shit. You know what I mean? And then he would kind of be like, oh, you know, I gotta get back at the house at a decent time because my mom, you know, he lives with Caribbean parents, so, you know, you can't be out all hours of the night. So that was a little weird, but I felt like sometimes he made me feel like I was unexperienced and like not on his level. Right. You know? Mm-hmm. I was like,
like you don't really know what you're talking about.
Have a seat. Have plenty of seats.
But here's the thing, which I think if you recognize that you say that a lot to somebody, like, oh, you don't know, you young, so right. You don't know, you don't understand because you're young. You gotta ask yourself, what am
I doing with this person?
Yeah, because it's almost like if the person's just your friend or you're talking to the person like a friend, like I mean, Kamal's my coworker, but goddamn, if I'm gonna talk to him after work's over, I mean, I would, I guess, if because he is a nice guy,
right?
He's very funny, has a very good sense of humor, so that makes you like somebody if they're funny,
right?
And they, he's a respectful guy. So like, if I'm having a party, I'd be like, hey, you want to come to the party? Like, yeah, I'd talk to him after work, but I mean. Go over there. Come on.
Right.
Come to the party. Go sit over there. Go talk to the people your age.
Your millennial ways.
Right.
Are driving me crazy.
Right. But it's almost like, I mean.
It's so crazy how that happens.
I can't imagine myself in a relationship with a 25-year-old.
No.
That's what I mean by like after wherever you know them from, work or school or whatever. It's like, I remember being in class, and some of my classes in college was a lot of older people. Mm-hmm. And I thought, like, I wonder if they just sit and roll their eyes at some of the shit that gets said of it. Because they're like older, like people who have worked at a job 25 years and got laid off, and then they're like, I'll go back to school. What those type of people?
They're like, because I'm rolling my eyes, so.
Right. So I'm like, I wondered, I sat and thought about it when they were like, those older people in my class. I exchanged numbers with a guy once. He was like something somewhere, and he got laid off. You know how that happens. You get unemployed, man. He said, I might as well go get my bachelor's. I have nothing else to do. Nobody's going to pay me what I've been making for the last 15 years. So I think that's what would happen with a lot of people. But, it's like you might invite them out somewhere or do a happy hour with folks and stuff like that. But it's like a relationship with somebody 25. I just feel like my blood pressure would be high all the time.
Well, I think it's kind of like what we were saying on the phone the other day. Like, what do you bring to the table at that age? So if you're a woman and like you're 35 and up, and you're like, oh, like sometimes Kathy be joking around and she'll like, maybe I need to find me a young tenderoni. I'm like, what is he gonna do for you?
Yeah, like not understand anything you're talking about.
Like you will eat him alive in 5 seconds, and you'll hate your life in 10 because I mean, other than like being a fun person to take selfies with, that's as far as that conversation's gonna go. And
there's gonna be things I feel like being 35, if I met a guy 20, I feel like there'd be things that will attract you and make you hold on personality wise,
right? Because
somebody can have a fantastic personality and you have chemistry with them personality wise, but when it got to get kicked up a notch and that maturity level got to be on point, is not gonna be.
No,
because being 35 with a 35-year-old man, you like, what the fuck were you thinking? You are a grown ass 35-year-old man. Your brain doesn't work any better. Like, imagine having this conversation with somebody your own age. Like, are you stupid? Like, what? Why would you do that? So imagine somebody 10 years younger. I would just be like, I think I would say it then, and that's where it would get. I'd be like, are you fucking stupid? And then that's where it gets
disrespectful,
right? Because I'm just like, oh my god, you're like a child. I think it would just come out, you're a child. And it always, like, even at work, like, just joking around with Kamal, it always, I'm like, you're young, you don't understand.
Right.
And that's immediately what comes out, because that's what it is. You're, like, you haven't been through enough to, and then younger people's like, I know. No, I know. No, that's not it. You don't know what it is. You don't know what you're talking about.
And it's so crazy how, like, history really does repeat itself. Because, like, your parents used to tell you shit. Older people used to tell you shit. Aunts, cousins, whatever. And you'd be like, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But they did. They did know. And, like,
they done been through the shit.
I mean, just like
15 times.
You love him. I get it. He's a drug dealer. I get it. He pays to get your hair and nails done. But you broke up 4 times already. But you want to leave your house. Like, these kids I work with, like, the little girl wants to, like, leave her house and run away with the drug dealer. I'm like...
And when the other drugs dealers start shooting, sweetheart, they're not going to just make sure they aim at him. Like, they're not at the target range getting practice.
Right. I'm just like, oh, my God.
And it just... I don't know how women do it. It just gets like annoying at some point. This man does not know what you're talking about. He doesn't. I'm sorry. Like, I can see maybe if you've dated a 25-year-old, like I can imagine, like somebody in the entertainment industry that's been through a lot from when they were a teenager, and it made somebody that's been in a situation that made them grow up fast. You might meet that kind of younger person that had to like been through some trials and tribulations, and their mentality is a grown ass man because they had to be, or their mentality is that of a grown ass woman because she had to be. She had no choice. Like some people been on their own for a long time.
I don't even know then.
I think
I don't know.
I think like somebody who, you know, maybe mom and dad died, and
right, maybe
like I had to raise my siblings. I had to raise myself. I got put out the house at 16 and I had to get a job and get an apartment. Like somebody that's been on their own is probably going to have a different mentality, especially when it comes to money and finances and bills and being responsible. They're going to have a little different, you know, mentality than somebody who's been, you know, living with mom and dad or whatever for a long time and still do and never really went through anything. They're going to have a different mentality.
So women dating younger, I would say 9 times out of 10, they're not going to be able to bring to the table what you want them to bring to the table. Mm-hmm. If what you want them to bring to the table is only dick, then maybe you have a good shot. Mm-hmm. Maybe, you know.
Fun. Just fun in general.
Fun and dick.
Yeah.
Fun dick. Like, maybe you're like...
Dick and Jane.
Dick and Jane.
Jane loves dick and fun.
Yeah, like maybe I've had, like, too much drama in my life. Mm-hmm. I just got divorced. I don't have time for this bullshit.
I don't want no relationship and none of that. I don't want you to spend a night.
My friend's friend has a little girl, just got divorced. She's dating a 24-year-old now. She's 40. Mm-hmm. She's having he seems like mature-ish. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know him. Just seen pictures.
Mature-ish to have fun with him.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's like going to be a martial artist or something. She's having a great time, allegedly, saying they're going on little day trips together. He probably thinks this is like playing house. Who knows?
Right.
You know, maybe he's in that mentality for that.
Or sometimes you can just be experimenting, like, am I ready for this? I don't know.
He might be like 26, 27, but I think he's like 24 to 27. Either way, anything under 29 is a shit show. I've done it. It's a terrible time. I don't recommend it to anybody, and I will live by that words forever.
And what we all know is, and when you ain't, especially your early mid 20s, even your late 20s, you're still trying to figure out who you are.
Right.
At 35, 40, you pretty much, you know, down the road toward 100% of knowing who the fuck you are and what you stand for and what you're gonna tolerate.
I Love Beyond on my own page, but I read this article that science says that you're a teenager till 24 now. I was like, science ain't ever lied.
Yeah. But once you're 35 or 40, you done figure out who you are, what you want, like. And you might not have it completely figured out, but you much further down the road than you were. If you don't know
who you are by 35 or 40, you need to go on that Scientology cruise and get the measles because it's ridiculous.
Or go to a retreat some goddamn and meditate and to figure it out. But like, you know what you stand for, what you're going to tolerate, not tolerate, what you want, don't want. When you get into that age, it's really starting to set in. So... And then you're dealing with somebody who doesn't know, who's trying to figure it out, who really doesn't know. I don't know if I want to be, you know, a teacher or you know, a cop or a professional Uber Eats person. Like, you don't know what the person's still trying to figure themselves out, and you've been through that. Do you
have a 401k? They're like, what's that?
Mm-hmm. Do you have the patience for somebody who's going through that? Because you've been through it, and you gotta have patience.
Some women really like to take care of people, teach people. They like that, and they're like nurturers. Not me.
I can see you having maybe more time if you don't have children.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I'm just saying, if you got a kid, you got to chase after, or a teenager for that matter. If it's people 40 years old with a teenager, yo, like, I don't have time to be running after making sure this teenager doesn't get pregnant or get somebody pregnant and worried about what your ass over here 25 doing. It's time. You want to play Xbox with the teenager.
That must be super awkward to be like a teenager. I mean, not a teenager. Be like a woman and have a young kid and be dating a young kid. Like... Why am I gonna
both playing Xbox? Ain't nobody took the goddamn garbage out.
No thanks.
Now you gotta yell at everybody. Get y'all ass up and take it down. I don't care who take it out. Now you sound like they both your children.
Yeah.
And that would be me. I don't give a fuck who do it. One of y'all put them goddamn controllers down and go out there and put that damn garbage on the curb.
Yo, fuck what you heard. I go to the fucking power box. Flop, flop, flop. Like, now who's gonna do it?
Uh-huh. I got the Wi-Fi password. That's what it is.
And
when all these goddamn chores done around here, then you can have it.
Men dating younger women, it might work.
Because women are more mature.
Yeah.
Men are not gonna go through. Some men are gonna go through it, but I don't think men are gonna go through it to the extent that women do. I think men have a better chance of finding a mature woman.
The only problem
that will get his level
they'll run into is the whole thing like we talked about before, like the Joe Buttons and Sin Santana thing, where yes, she's a good mom, yes, she's a freaky wife, but sometimes she still wants to twerk at the club,
right?
Because she is 26, and maybe that's what 26-year-olds like to do. I'm not sure,
right? Or if you're, make sure, I mean, even if you're the same age, but make sure, if you're 50 or 55 and you're dating a 35-year-old, make sure that 35-year-old's a homebody too. Don't go get a 35-year-old that want to go here, travel here, travel there. You're like, I've been there. I've done that. I went there 12 years ago. So, okay, but she hasn't been there before. She wants to go all over the place and you're ready to sit back on the couch and relax. Don't go get that person.
Right.
Go get somebody who's good with like chilling with you at home.
Because the problem is, even if you guys are like 10 years apart now, like 10 years apart down the road is a lot. Like my parents are 9 years apart. And my mom used to like joke, like she's like, I want to take you guys everywhere. She's like, and your father didn't want to go. She's like, and he was like, oh, I'm tired. I'm this, I'm that.
Yeah.
And I mean, she dragged him anyway. But like,
you going, Frank?
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like begrudgingly.
Yeah. Because it's like, if you got to the point where you don't really care for restaurants, you've eaten everywhere, you like cooking at home, don't go find somebody 32 that like going out to eat.
Right.
Like, just make sure the person is on your level. Like, I think you got to look for more meeting points where you guys meet and are compatible when it's an age difference.
And then the age won't make so much of a difference as long as all that stuff is
in mind, right? Like make sure, but I think a guy like that's 50 that meets a 32-year-old woman, she might be like up to mentally and mature wise. I don't think it would be that bad for him.
So you have your sugar daddies versus where'd it go? Cougars, yeah.
So, yeah, there's some of the older people that like to go get some men and women that like to go get somebody younger to take care of them. Like, I'm paying for all this shit, so you got to go where I want to go do what I want you to do.
Right.
Show up where I want you to show up, wear the suit I tell you to wear. And, the same with sugar daddies. I bought you this red dress. That's what I want you to wear. I want you to come to this party. I want you to be home when I tell you to be home. It's this movie I watched. Oh my God, it was so good. Kevin Costner's this Navy man, and I forgot her last name. Her first name is Sean. She was in I'm thinking Jennifer Jason. Ace Ventura. She was in Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Her real name is Sean. I forgot her last name. She's an actress. Okay. She was like a expensive call girl, like the kept call girl that he pays for the town home and vacations, and she's just there when he was the Secretary of State, I believe. Kevin Costner get a call from his friend who was the assistant coach to Denzel Washington and Remember the Titans. Don't remember his real name, but that's what he played.
It's not No Way Out, is it?
Yes, I'm pretty sure that was it. Kevin Costner gets this call to go be like a Navy liaison at the White House for the
Sean Young, yeah.
Sean Young, that's her name.
And Gene Hackman's in it.
Yeah, Gene Hackman
and
is the Secretary of State. Iman is her friend that work at the boutique. Very small role. But Sean Young, so she's the kept call girl.
Okay.
To Gene Hackman. But she sees Kevin Costner, but he goes overseas wherever, but he always come back to her. He's in love with her. He doesn't pay her. Kevin Costner's like her boo, that like her real boo. He doesn't pay. And he loves her. Gene Hackman buys her things and pays for stuff, and she has to be there, go where he say go, do what he say do. Like, he went to a party with his wife. He got a ticket so she can sit so he can look at her. So she was like, he likes me dressed up.
Oh, I've never seen this. Looks like a good movie.
So it's been coming on. So she went on a weekend. So Kevin Costner's the one that would treat her like
Right.
a woman. So he took her away on a weekend to like a bed and breakfast, and she was gone all weekend. So she get back, and Gene Hackman is like, where the fuck were you, and who the fuck was you with, and why you ain't answer the phone? And she was like, don't worry about it. Basically, I mean, I was gone, I was with a friend, blah blah blah, and in case you watch, I ain't gonna say nothing. Shit got the fuck out of control.
Somebody turns up dead.
Yeah. So
according to the
yeah. So, but it's almost like, yo,
directed by a man, screenplay by a man, story by a man.
Damn. So the point of it is, he's like, listen, I'm paying for all this shit. I don't want to hear about you somewhere with somebody else. I ain't trying to hear that shit. And I can imagine
it's a thriller.
A female cougar ain't trying to hear about you being with somebody your age, or going somewhere with somebody your age, or flirting, or hanging out. Like, I pay for your livelihood. God damn it, you gonna do what I say, be what I be, talk to who I say talk to. I mean, people that's the same age go through this, but I feel like cougars and sugar daddies is almost like an arrangement. Spoken arrangement.
Yeah.
Like, might be unspoken, but most of the time it's like, it's known what this is. This is what this is. Like, if somebody's putting out that much money for you, got you driving a car and, all these things.
Sorry, I'm making a face right now because I looked up movies about cougars, and there's this movie called La Teta y la Luna, and it's a child cannot stand the idea of having a new brother and dreams about drinking milk from the breast of his mother again. The child asks the moon to bring him a tea only for him, and it's like a picture of this kid like getting milk squirted in his mouth, but it didn't look like milk at first. IMDb,
that's probably porn.
It's on IMDb. So The Graduate is about cougars. Everyone knows The Graduate. Y Tu Mama Tambien. A lot of Spanish movies. Notes on a Scandal with Kate Blanchett.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was good. That was good. That was some Mary Kay Letourneau shit there.
Oh.
Notes on a Scandal. Yeah. That was Mary Kay Letourneau shit right there. If I believe, I think I saw it twice. It was good though.
Dressed to Kill. Never saw that one.
I don't know. Notes of a Skin. I don't think the kid was 13 though.
Some movie called In the Bedroom. Some movie called Class from 1983. What? I Will Survive. No. Private Lessons. 15-year-old boy, and later fakes her own death as part of the chauffeur's blackmail plot. Damn it. My Tutor. Hotel in New Hampshire. Oh, What a Night. In the Mood.
What about Sabrina? Wasn't that kind of? Wasn't he older than her?
I never
Sabrina?
saw that movie. Ladybugs. What?
Because she was like a little girl, and he was like the older brother, and she comes back beautiful from France, and he loves her, but he older.
I don't know. Loverboy. That was a good movie.
I don't think I saw that one.
What? With Matthew Broderick? Not Matthew Broderick. Is it him? No. Is it? What's his name? What's hold on. Damn it, what's his name? Hold on.
The one from Friends?
No, Patrick Dempsey. That's his name.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a pizza. Loverboy is like the best 80s movie of all time. He's like a pizza boy, and I guess the old pizza boy like was out or something happened to him, and women who wanted a younger man would call this pizza shop and order the pizza with anchovies, extra anchovies.
That sounds familiar.
And then he would go to their houses and like have affairs with them. And then
I feel like I did see
one
that.
of the ladies familiar. Like was like told this other lady like, oh, this guy comes and we have like this like loving, romantic, passionate time. You have to come, and he was like filling in for them, and it was his mom who had called, and then like
I saw that. Yes, I saw that.
And then he's like, tell her we have no more anchovies, and the Italian guy's like, but we have plenty of anchovies.
Yes, I remember that.
Such a good movie.
I remember that.
And that's about him having an affair with a lot of older women. There's tons of movies out there, but I
had on here too, old souls versus this generation, which is like saying some people were raised very old fashioned, so their mentality doesn't necessarily match their millennial status.
Okay.
Depending on how your parents, some people have older parents,
right?
Some people parents had them when they were 40, so your parents are gonna raise you a certain way,
Right.
So sometimes somebody can have a really old spirited, old soul where they're not as, into the up-to-date stuff. And that might, kind of entice them to be with somebody older that kind of matches their rhythm. I put old school hip hop versus mumble rap and trap because somebody had said on the radio how they were talking to a rapper that's in his like late 30s, and he played like Slick Rick for somebody he's dating like that's in her 20s, and she was like, "What is this?" And
wow,
she played like a mumble rap, a trap song, and he was like, "What is this?" And I guess they had a little conversation. So I thought it was interesting that, sometimes, maybe dating, maybe you could bring the generations together a little bit. Like, it could go either way.
I think you have to be open-minded and know that there's going to be like major differences. Like if I were to date somebody, I don't know, if I dated somebody older than me, it would just be super creepy now. At 40, like I couldn't date like a 50 or 60-year-old, and I know some of y'all are into that. And Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday to you, but it's just not.
Except that one with the salt and pepper beard the other day.
Oh yeah, well hold up, I like couldn't wait till April. I'm surprised I forgot and didn't call her. I almost took a picture of this man walking on the street. He was like, I don't even know. He was like perfect, like he was IG worthy.
She said he was perfect.
Sorry, babe. But like he was really, I was just like, wow, I've never seen an older man where I was like, oh my God, I'd sit down and have a cup of coffee with you. I'd wear something other than
possibly
Yoga.
naked.
I don't know. He just looks so tasty. I was just like, wow, he's just dressed so nice, and his boots and his pants his boots and his pants were like, I was like, damn, I don't even look at that shit. I mean,
he just had it together.
Yeah, and then he like waved because I didn't run him over. He's like, thank you. Thank you.
You're respectful.
As I'm trying to like get my camera open on my phone, I'm like, April's gotta see this. Yeah, okay. Other than him, Mr. No Name, I don't know that I could. But in my head, he would be like cool and down to earth. But who knows?
Yeah, not no old wrinkle up.
Maybe he would be like, if he came at me like, you need to start like wearing dresses and put away your yoga pants, and be like, all right, you need to have a seat. Shut the fuck up, old man. Like, that's the thing.
But sometimes I think too, like some older people tend to say, when she came in my life,
right,
she made me live again.
Right.
She made me realize that there's so many things in the world I haven't seen, because somebody younger might say, well, I've never been to Europe. I've never been to these places. I want to go out. I want to try different foods. I want to do these things. And maybe the person been sitting at home so long, they're like, you know what? Life's short. Maybe I should go out. And so that's where I was thinking about bridging the gap, but then, the age gap. Like maybe she's looking at it, like this older man schooling me on some shit. Right. Like, maybe I should sign up for my 401k at work. Maybe I should get
right, get
my shit together job wise. Like, some people are not so much into controlling, but into like, yo, let me help you.
Right.
Because I've been where you at. I was 25 once, wasn't, getting my money's worth out of my job or whatever. Let me show you how to do that. And then you show me how to live. Like,
I just think for any of those relationships to work, you just have to be mentally right and open. Like,
right.
As an older man dating a younger woman, you have to be accepting of the fact that she may not want to sit home with you on the weekends if you just want to sit home. She may want to go out to dinner or to have drinks with her girls or with her friends. And, that's where the whole trusting comes in, that
right,
whatever. She'll be coming home to you.
You can't be insecure about the age thing. You're either going to be confident in it, because soon as those insecurities come out, like, oh, are you going out to these bars to find somebody your age? Or, soon as those, or some people are looking at you like, is that her father or her man or what? Yeah. Like, if those things are gonna bother you, I mean, it's the same thing when people saying like how much, I've heard, I want to say Tay Diggs might have been the one that said it, how much anxiety he experienced from getting stared at from being in an interracial relationship, and how it's like a burden off his shoulder to not walk in places and get stared at if he's on a date with a black lady. And I'm like, you are gonna get stared at. Is some people that don't realize it's 2019 and they give a fuck and they are going to stare at you for whatever reason. I mean, I think it's ridiculous, but
That's never really bothered. I mean, that's never bothered me. Nothing really bothers me, to be honest with you. But I mean, like.
But I mean, that's your
does,
mentality.
I know,
I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
I forget who it was. Was it the guy from Montclair? It might have been him. No, maybe not. I dated somebody like in college, and they were really. God, I don't remember who it was now. He didn't make the cut. That's why. He really, really felt uncomfortable about that. And I was like...
Don't do it if you're not going to stand in it and be like...
Right.
Can I help you? You know what I mean? Like, I mean... Or just not say... I don't know what the reaction is to it, but... I mean... If you're going to decide to do something, like you said, you got to be open. You got to be mentally there and know there's people that's going to stare. People are just fucking rude and miserable.
I might be one of them because sometimes when I see like a really young girl and a really old guy, I'm like,
is that her daddy?
Is that her? Is he buying her tonight?
But if you
and they're Outback, I'm like,
But you could be wondering without staring. You could have just caught a glimpse. You could have just caught a glimpse and then had your mind start going.
Yeah, I mean, I look a couple times. I don't sit there like.
Because I'd be looking at you too if you look like you on a Plenty of Fish OkCupidMatch.com date. I'd be all up in y'all business.
Like, I think I had mentioned this before once. Like at Grand Lux, they sit you like next to people, and like next to us was like this young black girl and like this older white guy, and he was like, but he like was talking to her like he knew her or something. Like, oh, what about this person or that person? And I was just like, I'm just people curious, but she felt like her whole vibe was like making me uncomfortable because she was like she seemed like she was uncomfortable
like
with the
one
situation.
word answers and stuff like that.
Fine, everything's good. Okay, well, yeah. And I was just like,
it seemed weird.
Yeah, it was like uncomfortable for her.
Yeah, I'd be all up in y'all internet dates. I've been there before. I know what the fuck going on.
Oh yeah.
So
I forget where I was recently. I'm like, they just met.
So close to parents' age type old. That would be, I wouldn't be secure in that. At homeboy, you can have the best salt and pepper beard going. But if you my mama age, I wouldn't be able to stand in that. I'm sorry.
You afraid your mom's gonna holler?
Like my mother be like, I don't know. I don't like it. But I wouldn't be comfortable.
I feel like Pam would have some more words than that, but okay.
I wouldn't be comfortable.
She'd be like, because
my mother doesn't like to say don't do something. So she'll say everything but that. She'd be like, I don't know, because, you really got to think about it. I don't like this, She's not going to say don't do it. She's going to say everything else around don't do it. But that,
so what do you think, Jen? Leave me out of it.
I wouldn't be able to stand in that though, comfortably.
No, I don't think I would.
I wouldn't be able to stand in that comfortably. I mean,
awkward.
Yeah, it's just too awkward. It's too weird for me.
I think at 40, I don't know if I can go over 45. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm 35. I think late 40s.
How old is Idris?
50.
I know he's taken. I know he got married.
He's just late 40s, I think. Mid to late. Maybe he might be 44, 45. She's like 33. She's in her early 30s, and I think he's 40 something, 44 maybe. Yeah, she's in her early. They got a good gap there. I
couldn't do it, not for me.
But I wouldn't go over 50. I'd stop at 50 from 35. But at 49, you need to be goddamn gym.
Right.
That type of 49, like, maybe you still play basketball with your boys.
You talked about the gym.
Yeah, like you gotta be that kind of 49-year-old, not some pot belly dude sitting up on the couch
and have it figured out. If you don't have it figured out at 49, fucking run.
Right. Yeah, you gotta have your I'm not dating you for you to be 49 and confused. It's still about life. I mean, not that you gotta know everything, do everything right, but you gotta be on track. So.
Daddy issues versus mommy issues.
So sometimes not
like
that people assume,
women?
but yeah, sometimes men dating older women and women dating older men got some
to do with the issues,
mommy daddy stuff going on, or is that a myth?
I don't know. I think we kind of talked about that once when Amy came.
Mm-hmm.
I think she said she didn't have daddy issues, but
she's like, she was real cool with it, close to her.
Yeah,
or issues.
It's just a preference for her
that she know of. Because I can see sometimes the preference is just that the person is more mature than guys you're meeting your age or women you're meeting your age. Like,
he'd have to be super smooth. Like, cause I'm creeped out just thinking about it.
Like, Jen, it's Roy. How you doing, baby?
Not that smooth.
This ain't gonna be George out this. But I can see a guy who maybe has mommy issues, wanting to be taken care of or kind of nurtured in a way. You know, I can see that. And I can see a woman wanting to feel protected and safe if maybe she didn't have a dad, and maybe that kind of,
or had a lot of bad relationships, dated like a lot of dumb young kids, and then finally was like, I'm gonna go date someone completely established.
Because I do believe we all
on
do,
the AARP.
We all. I do
That's
think
established as hell.
I do think we all date our parents.
I do too.
In some
so
shape, form, or fashion. And for some of us, it works out in good ways. If you're dating somebody like your dad, somebody that took care of business at home, took care of his family, you know, was protective and financial and emotionally there for you. And some people find that version of their dad, like, you know. And sometimes guys find a version of their mom and the strength they see in a woman, and that she cares about her appearance, or that she's, you know, kind of a free spirit like his mom or something like that, you know, takes care of him and likes to cook or do whatever. You know, but sometimes it could be the opposite. Like, I didn't have a loving, caring mother. I didn't have an affectionate mother or father. So I'm looking at this older woman that shows me affection in a certain way. You know what I mean?
This woman shits on me just like my mom did. I'm gonna marry her. No, sweetheart, run.
That's scary too. Sometimes when people had like crazy combative, you know, psychologically damaging parents, they might find those people
towards that because it feels like home.
Yeah, like people who yell or a name call, or, you know,
right.
So I mean, yeah, it's like they used to it. It doesn't even, just bounces off. Marrying
versus dating. I mean, obviously you have to date before you get married.
But I mean, some people would be like, so, you know, some people I'll date somebody 50, but I won't marry somebody that old. I'm just dating. I'm just maybe experimenting. Maybe that's the word.
I don't know. I feel like no, I'm too tired for that too. I was gonna say maybe I would date someone younger than me. Like, if my relationship were to like crumble into the seas, I'd maybe date someone younger than me, but I would never marry someone younger than me just to have a little fun. But I don't really have all that kind of energy for all that. Like, like, I'd be like, all right, like, no.
To me, it depends on how bad it ends. If my relationship ends bad, I'm like, I'm savage. I'm going savage on y'all. I'm fucking 25-year-olds till I'm exhausted.
But the problem is you might be exhausted in like 10 minutes.
Before I get there.
You're like, it's 9 o'clock. He don't get out of work till 10:30. Fuck this.
Don't call me. My Uber downstairs. Lock your door. Don't fucking call me. I'll call you. But I mean, like, sometimes it ends badly and you just go on your own little, you know, adventure, and then you're like, all right.
I did that at one of my breakups. I don't remember which one.
Like, I'm having a second hoe phase.
A second hoe phase.
I'm a born again hoe.
It's the second coming of Hoisha.
I'm a born again hoe. This 6, 7, 8 year relationship ended badly, so this is what we doing now. This is what we doing. Call me. I don't call you. I don't cuddle. Okay?
I don't cuddle.
We're not doing that.
Savage April.
I'll meet you there. I will drive my own car. Yeah. I might,
you can get the Google number. You ain't getting this.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Daniel Sharpie, if you gave out our number to your lawyer, you owe him money, and please don't do that again. I don't know who you are, but someone's looking for you and money on our Google line. Anywho.
And finally, I mean, which I don't know if we mentioned it, but the sex.
Cialis.
I can see.
It's like an ad for Cialis and Viagra all over.
I can see from both ends people wanting. Like, I guess, like me being 35, I imagine I meet like a 47-year-old man. You know what the fuck to do in bed. I don't.
What if he doesn't?
That's crazy. I mean, I would never speak to you again. You're a waste of life. I don't. At 47 years old, if you don't know, I'm good, homie. I mean, seriously. But like, I mean, I can see too a guy liking an older woman because she knows what the fuck she doing.
Right.
Like, he's like, oh, I feel great. This lady knows exactly what to do. You know, she's been around the block a couple times.
But then what if you get like one of those like younger people who are like, oh, I want to try this, and this, and you're like, yo, like, oh, I heard anal was the shit. I like to toss salad. You're like, look, go find some young crazy drunk bitch for that.
Right. Well, you definitely gotta find somebody at your level of freakiness. It might be a 37-year-old woman out there. Get freaky on these young boys.
Oh my god.
But yeah, you still got somebody. The person still got to match your level of freakiness.
Telling all their boys at the arcade. I don't know why I just juvenile the fuck out of them.
Oh, good. But I can imagine people wanting people older for that reason, because they feel like they know what they're doing.
Did the guys that we dated when we were younger, when they were older, did they know? Or did we just think they knew?
The older guys knew, yeah. The older guys I dated knew. Oh. And the younger ones, I mean, not really. Some of them did. Some of them knew better.
I don't remember. It's all mystery.
From the Office of the Public Defenders. Well, damn.
You saw that?
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Sharpie or David Sharpie?
I just saw it now. Has been adjourned. Daniel, they gonna have your ass in court forever adjoining shit. You ain't gonna never get that shit over with.
I was like, not for us.
So just a little quick scan of 22, the article from today.com, 22 reasons why younger guys fall for older women. I'll skip through just so you can hear a different perspective than ours. Here we go. Where are we? Come on. Where's the list? Okay, sex is on there.
Of course.
Okay, and a bunch of advertisements. What's going on here? They don't have good headings in this article. So next, dating a younger man. Okay, wait. 10 most important rules of dating a younger woman. This is from Maxim.com. They have good headings. Treat her like a girlfriend, not a casual fling. Don't make the relationship all about sex. Act your age. Leave any and all maturity behind. Let her live her own life. Honesty is the best policy. Keep up with her. Remember that she's not looking for a sugar daddy. She might be. When the time comes to meet the parents, be super chill. Prepare to be judged. Yeah, they kind of agree with us. Mm-hmm. By her biological father. AskMen.com said they got a little deep. Things to consider before dating a younger woman. The power dynamic is skewed. I guess you're gonna have a little more power since you're older. She is by definition not mature. A young woman can be smart, witty, and worldly, but not mature or experienced. Certain life experience and personal qualities only come from being alive on earth for a decent length of time. I agree. She might be expecting too much from you. Financial security, maturity, and gentlemanly. That's not too much to expect. Fuck out of here. You might be expecting too much from her. Wild, flexible, fun, so on. You may not want the same things from life. Let's see. Okay. And that was their take on that. And dating a younger man, 13 things you should know from sexyconfidence.com. He'll have a different perspective. This is dating a younger man. He'll have a different perspective on life. He may have a different sex drive, of course. He may never have been married or in a long-term relationship. He may want kids. He may be more adventurous and spontaneous. He might love you being in control. He may or may not be less emotionally mature than you'd like. The ones your age are less emotionally mature than you like. He may not want a serious relationship. He probably prefers texting to calling. He may ghost you. He will make you feel incredibly sexy. He will be in a different place career-wise. You may be keenly aware of the age difference. And the conclusion to all this is that we're right. So that's that. And that's we covered all the bases for today.
Yeah.
This was fun.
This was fun. Yeah. Well, let us know. Are you guys dating younger or older people? What are your thoughts on it? Think it's a good idea? Think it's a bad idea? Think it's a shit show? Have you done it? Have you not done it? Would you do it? All those things. You could write to us at bedlovebeyond.com, and you could also write to us on any of our social media at bedlovebeyond on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you have any questions or comments, write to us at gmail.com at bedlovebeyond. And you guys know the number, because I don't remember it right now. 201-823-2-BED? No? Maybe? I don't know. I can't find it.
82-bed.
8233. 82-BED. And that's it. Miss April Speaks. We still have an Audible trial, I believe, at audibletrial.com/bedlovebeyond. And we'll be back with more and exciting episodes. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Peace. My highlighter is all over the